I was in a narration with Anubhav sir, and he narrated the script to me. And from that point, I'm like, it's been 1.5 years I'm into the film. Specifically, I would like to mention that this film has so much shooting order and so much shooting schedules that everything had to be fitted on the editing table. Initially, I had no idea and no clue what it would look like, but still I edited the whole film keeping a character in mind. And me and my team always used to source out some characters from Hollywood films. Specifically, I would like to mention Anubhav sir's name because he's so good in the VFX part of the filmmaking that he knows every shot. And when you see the film, all the money shots, the major dynamic big shots are of Anubhav sir's mind. Finally, what I see, the product I have delivered, and with in tandem with Shahrukh sir and Anubhav sir, and with all the team together, we have made a fantastic film. And just to say one thing again, that this film is made by an heart.
Ravan would be, I would say, one of the first movies which 7.1 has been rightly used. So the sound is going to give a larger than life experience. It is a difficult terrain, especially superhero movies. So my initial discussions with SR was mostly be probing him to come up with, the sounds that you hear in the movies. See, I see film has two different planes in terms of sound. One is the very high-tech virtual world where the characters emanate from, and the other is these characters from the game comes to normal people's lives. So I had to create this two contrasty atmosphere. Jeevan and Ravan playing with cars, so I wanted that to be very, very real. The other set of recordings, what we have done is, I wanted to have all the chase sequence to be very, very real. I wanted to place the audience within the reality of being inside a car who's being chased.
We have managed to create a very good soundtrack, nicely balanced with music, good dialogue quality. I think audience will appreciate the overall soundtrack.
It's a film made by us, the Indians. It's an assertion of Indian technical talent.
We knew the basic idea that we wanted a train action, we wanted a car chase, we wanted a hand-to-hand, and the basic idea was there, but the exact, exact modality or how it's going to pan out, we were not sure of. It was the most difficult sequence on paper, the train sequence.
It hit me in Lonavala when we started shooting the train sequence.
There's so many cameras attached. I think not ever in the history of Indian cinema.
You had 11-kilometer stretch of train tracks, 2 train tracks, and you've got thousands of extras, and you've got one platform.
G1 double, running on the outside of the train, past the people in the doors. Did some moving shots with cameras, some handheld shots inside. Did some tracking shots from another track.
एक आदमी एक ट्रेन के बाहर लटका हुआ है, वो ट्रेन फुल स्पीड पे जा रही है और वो आदमी एक खिड़की से कूदता है दूसरी खिड़की पे। फिर उसमें हमने ये भी नया शगुफा जोड़ दिया कि एक ट्रेन उसको क्रॉस कर रही है। अब 2 ट्रेनों के बीच में जगह बम्बई में लोकल ट्रेन में मतलब 3.5 फुट 4 फुट, उसमें वो कूदता हुआ आदमी अगर कूदे और पीछे वाली ट्रेन से टकरा जाए तो सिर्फ मरेगा और उससे कम कुछ नहीं होगा। पर वो सारा कुछ उन्होंने इतना सिंपल बना दिया था।
I got a lot of fun stuff going. Worked on the platform, going by people, strobing shots. It's a really cool sequence. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to finish it up on green screen.
for the train sequence, I had to make a replica of the train, that's a real size, where the bogie had to shake, and 2 bogies we had made. But this was again a replica of the existing thing, which had to look as real as possible for the action sequence.
The director wants the building to collapse, which is a bit more difficult than making a building explode, because obviously you're just dealing with gravity. We've got 8 cameras rolling. Yeah, it's been a big build-up.
3, 2, 1.
Anything which has got an impact has to have a physical body rather than doing it completely in CGI, where a part of it is miniature, part of it is breaking down in CGI, and the whole scene was shot in Pawan Hans at an airport strip, which looks like a road on VT with divider.
The train sequence, but I think as far as shooting is concerned, that went off with the least amount of hitch. We shifted to London, which was a big schedule of I think 50-60 days, pre-production of 30 days.
चेस तो यार चेस होती है, 2 तेज जाती हुई गाड़ियां होती हैं, वो एक दूसरे का पीछा करती हैं, रास्ते में कुछ छोटे गैग्स होते हैं.
I wasn't part of the chase sequence. Actually, Karina and the child are being chased by the bad guy.
बट जो उसका कल्मिनेशन था वो मैंने जब लिखा तो मुझे लगा कि ये हो ही नहीं सकता.
Just as this last car goes through, she's going up the tail end of it.
You know, what he used to do was he used to keep it on the ground and take small cars and show the whole sequence of events as it would happen. And that was a prep call which everyone had to take.
When Akashi is leaping from car to car, one of the car crashes and does a 5-6 spin. Unfortunately, it didn't. It just got stuck in the other car. So what we did was we replaced the entire car with a CGI car, and then we did the entire animation of the car flipping.
The chase sequence was very nice. So when it starts, Akash is behind us and he pulls the door and he chucks it behind. For almost the whole chase sequence, I'm sitting in the car and there's no door over here. So it's very scary.
This one shot is about my whole first film.
And we shot it at Battersea, which I think incidentally is the first power plant in Europe. We have some very interesting visuals because of Battersea.
एक दिन मैं और शाहरुख बैठे हुए कुछ बात कर रहे थे तो मैं शाहरुख को कुछ सुना रहा था और उस फ्लो में मेरे को रियलाइज़ नहीं हुआ मैंने ये सीक्वेंस भी सुना दिया.
The London car sequence is one of its kind, which had about 50 cars and 4 or 5 cars were flying in the air.
तो मैंने कहा नहीं मतलब ऐसा कुछ करेंगे तो इनसे क्यों ऐसा कुछ क्यों करेंगे ये क्यों नहीं करेंगे. फिर जब एंडी से मिला तो मैंने एंडी को सुनाया सीक्वेंस तो एंडी ने बोला कि बहुत टफ है.
Then we had another set of unit. We had like 18 cameras at times, so you had to get a whole set of cameramen and lenses and cameras and post-production people and cranes, 6 cranes at the same time. I'd never worked in cranes more than 1 or 2 maximum, and then you have to hang on them. A couple of times the cars didn't blow up the way we wanted, and it depressed Andy and Spiro a lot, you know, because they wanted the car to really be rigged properly. It went wrong, but the VFX department came in handy.
We could not shoot that sequence with all real cars because you have to time it. While some cars are flying, some are being thrown to other guy. We could not shoot it. We could only shoot with 1 or 2 cars. Especially what we did there, foreground cars we shot it real, and all the background cars which are in the air flying, those are all CGI.
My crew are the most important thing to me, making them happy, giving them a good time.
We must have done like 16 different versions of how this film can end, and finally we chose this one.
What they'd done was they'd created the whole set, which is exactly the replica of the game. And that's where Jeevan and Ravan kind of meet towards the end of the movie.
I was briefed of having 3 different levels, and it had to have a definite look. And being a game, everything had to be surreal.
So you have level 1, they throw, these fireballs and all of that they throw at each other.
There's one shot which is a glass shot where SRK is running and Ravan throws a charge at him. It crashes the glass and the glass all comes out and he's basically running through the glass and the camera goes 3D. Each frame of that glass shot took us 137 hours to render.
Level 2 is more of kind of a fist fight, almost like a guerrilla warfare kind of tactic.
Whenever the contact happens between them, you see some light which comes out, some energy, because positive and negative energy meet and you see light. That's what we have tried to do. And when you see that thing in slow-mo, you see actually because of that impact, the shock wave, what happens.
In level 2 there was one shot where in one shot Shahrukh gets hit twice, one on the chest and one on the face. We rendered 2 lakh frames just for one shot.
And the final face-off is almost like a spaghetti western standoff that happens between 2 cowboys.
The whole idea is that anti-hard gun is part of them, and so we had to use cubic transformation. It actually comes out from their body. That's what happens in the film, because it's part of them, because they only get anti-hard gun once in the film.
And this is where the game of the hero and the villain ends. This is where they go back to being the game that they were.